everybody. Welcome to Back to School Night 2020. And here we are. Are we so excited to be back in school and starting a brand new year? I know I am. So welcome to my class. My name is Stacy Mbimbo. I know it's a very odd name, but the man who came with that name is incredible. So my husband is Kyle Mbimbo. We've been married for 11 years. He also teaches at CCA with me. He teaches 8th grade. So it's such a blessing to be able to come to work together, to have the same schedule. It gives us a lot of family time that we can just pour into our kids and spend those weekends and summertime moments with them, making memories. So it's definitely a blessing, and we love the ministry of CCA. My husband and I met about 13 years ago on a tiny island in the Bahamas. We were both serving at a Christian sports camp on the island of Eleuthera. And so it was really just such a God moment where I was living in Texas at the time and he was living here. And after we were married, we settled down here in Fort Lauderdale and kind of put our roots down. So it's awesome. My brother works for the church in the music department, and my sister-in-law teaches 4th grade, and her name is Chrissy Waddell. And so it is just so wonderful to be surrounded by friends and family at work, as well as just those that love on my kids as well. So my kids, you can see them there, they are 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. And so that's Ava, and Micah is in 3rd, and then my oldest son, Isaiah, is in 4th grade this year at CCA. So we are definitely blessed. This is the beginning of my 15th year teaching and my 4th year at CCA. I have previously taught 6th grade and 3rd grade and 2nd. So I definitely love teaching the younger grades, and I am just truly right where I am supposed to be. And it's an honor and it's a privilege that I don't take lightly to just be able to pour into your kids each day. And so I know that I actually get to spend a lot of time with your child. And so thank you for just trusting me with their little hearts. And I hope that they see the grace and the kindness that can only come from Jesus inside of me while I just minister to them daily. So let's get right into just kind of what to expect this year, kind of answer those questions. And of course, if there's something I don't answer, please feel free to email me. So a little about our grading policy. My CCA is your friend, and you will find all of your child's current grades listed there. And we try to do our best with the title of the assignment, so it's kind of easy for you to navigate. The different areas are weighted. So the test would be weighted higher than a quiz. A quiz is weighted higher than classwork. We have projects that are weighted a little differently. We have performance grades in different subject manners. And so you can see that all listed out. And there's just a little picture for an example of what you have available at your fingertips. And at any time that you are concerned, or if I'm concerned, we will definitely work together, because this is definitely a co-laboring moment with your child, with a parent, and as with the teacher. So we work together in that. Our curriculum in math, we'll hop right into that, is Go Math. It's a very challenging curriculum. I love it. Math is one of my most favorite subjects to teach. And so we can use a program online called Think Central. Now, in class, we do most paper pencil, but we give the children the opportunity this year at the end of the chapter to have a review time at home where they can earn an additional extra credit on their test. It will look very similar to this. So most of you were able to do this for chapter 1. But if you look, you'll hop on to Think Central, you'll log in under your child's name. And then I sent that information home already too. So if you need it again, please don't hesitate to ask. You'll hop into Things to Do, and that would be where I would place all the assignments that are needed. You also have access to your child's math book. And so here in the library section, you have a digital copy of our curriculum. So you're able to look at the chapter that we're on. You're able to look at the lesson that we're teaching that day. And that is actually listed in topics. So if you go into My CCA under math, under topics, you'll get a general idea of what your child is learning. And again, it's a general idea because it sometimes looks great on paper on Sunday night, but then Monday sometimes goes into Tuesday, and we have to spend extra time on Wednesday on Tuesday's assignment, and that's just the life of a learner. And so we definitely will be flexible in that area as you look at that as well. Okay, hopping down to extra math that you see here on the page. That is a program we use to help your child build fluency in knowing their facts. It's not the only way. I mean, you are able to work with flashcards. Another program that you might have on your personal iPad at home, you might find a fun game that your student likes. But in the classroom, we're kind of sticking with extra math. At this point, we're working with addition facts, and the students have about 6 seconds per problem to answer. And so as they build that fluency and master those computation problems, we're going to be testing them on that on Thursdays. So actually starting last Thursday was their very first one. So it's 40 questions, and they get 2 minutes. And each week, their grade will improve because they are practicing between all of those time tests. And that will continue on. After Christmas, we'll move into subtraction. And then at the end of 2nd grade, if they're ready, we'll hop into multiplication and kind of get them started prepping for that 3rd grade class. Okay, reading. Reading is so fun in 2nd grade. They have studied and worked so hard on their phonics in 1st, and they are ready. And they are readers. And so what more to do with them is to get them into loving to read. So we use the program from McGraw-Hill, and our books are called Wonders. And so we do work on a theme every week. We've been working with taking care of pets recently, and how do we care for animals. So those are very high interest level themes for students of this age. We have weekly vocab words, and those are 8 words per week, and you'll see those on My CCA. And we do a lot of practice throughout the week. We act them out. We see them in our reading. Every time we read a vocab word, we clap twice and we roll our hands. So we definitely want these vocab words to become part of their language. We would love to see them in their writing and just become a natural part of their everyday conversation. So that's even a fun thing to do at the dinner table, to see how many vocabulary words they can use in conversation. We do have a phonics rule that we focus on every week. So last week was long A and short A, and we look at the patterns that we see in words and how that correlates with the phonics. We do use Spelling City, and so every week the students are required to do 3 Spelling City games, and that will prep them for their weekly spelling test. We do work in class. You can do work in the car on the way to school, just like, hey, please spell bake, and have the child spell that from the back seat. However you want to practice with your child is great, but in class, we give them time to complete the Spelling City assignments. And now I will probably list 6 or more, and those students will get the option to pick their favorite 3 or more to continue practicing. Also on Spelling City, I'll place the vocab words. So you'll have a chance to actually practice those along with your student in that regard as well. We also are using the program Accelerated Reader. And so this is located in the resource part of my CCA under library. But every 9 weeks, your child takes a star reading test. Now, most of you received this information in the Thursday folder this past week, so you can kind of see where your child, where their goal is, how much they understand, how much they can read for their vocabulary and their knowledge, their comprehension. So it kind of gives you just like a little snapshot. We're asking the students to read 15 minutes per day. And so, of course, if they reach their goal, we will celebrate with them at the end of the 9 weeks. And once they reach their goal, that is calculated into the language arts grade as 10% of their grade. So to be honest, it's usually an easy 100 because we just want to push them and challenge them. And I will ask them to try to double their goal, to try to get in the double club. So anything to keep them reading. A lot of what they read in my class with Wonders, that's also an AR test. I do a read aloud every day. And so those read alouds, I make sure they are AR books. So they're listening, they're comprehending, they're able to practice that on their own time during iPad. Now, we do still check out books at the library. So when Mrs. Kavanaugh comes into our room for library time, the students do get to choose their favorite genres and they get a surprise book. So we try to make it as fun as we can, but the books do stay in their backpacks. There's 2 different options that you can use at home. I kind of use this during iPad time. If they need their time to read, they can use Epic, and there's the class code there, or this really cute site called Tumble Book Library. And as you look at these pages, the animation comes alive. And so that's a really fun alternative for them to get a book and to read. If it's hard to actually go to the library during this time for you, they have it at school, they have the books in their backpack, and we just want to instill that love of reading and love of learning in their hearts at this young age. We do practice a lot of those grammar rules. So you will be seeing something that looks like this come home in the Thursday folder. So we review. It says 5 minutes, but we're not there yet. It takes us about 15 at this point, which is okay. It will eventually get to 5 minutes, but we go over it first thing, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we're reviewing the same rules all week. How to make something plural, what's a possessive noun, what's the correct form of the verb, how to edit a sentence. So there's so many little grammar rules that we just want to keep it fresh in their mind. So I'll send that home every Thursday. And most of the time, the students are well-versed in all the rules. We're going to give them an assessment on Friday and just see how much they remember. And that is just a classwork grade for them. And so you'll see that come home graded when it says the quiz for the particular week. So last week was week 4. And so you'll see that come home in the Thursday folder. The Thursday folder looks a little different this year. It's a manila envelope with their graded work. And if you are an online learner this year, I grade your work that you submit and I make comments on it. So you are welcome to go back and look at that as well. Okay, science and social studies, big favorites for the class. We rotate through these 2 subjects every 2 weeks. So we're currently in social studies. We're learning about the world that God has created, learning about the continents and the oceans, and then we're going to jump back into science and we're going to study invertebrates for 2 weeks. We will always send home review sheets before the test, and we always play games in class to review. And so they're very, very well prepared as they have just been focusing and kind of just having fun with science and social studies. One of my favorites and hopefully one of their favorites. We have a classroom management as part of CCA. And so every student has a little tiny personal clip chart that's private and it's right in their little shield area. And so every day we start on green. And though you either move up the chart or down the chart, and there's obviously some consequences for those that possibly move past the yellow section. And so maybe talking to me or writing an apology note or having some 5 minutes off at their recess or a phone call home to mom and dad. So that doesn't happen too often, but that would be like some of the consequences if they've chosen to break a rule. If they go up to good job, awesome, outstanding, or clip off the charts, there is rewards for that. And so they've been doing so great. And so that's the classroom management for this year. Some homework info. So this is definitely new, and I hope that you're excited about this, but just to kind of keep your child just happy and less stressed for this season, they sit in my classroom the entire day. So the special teachers come in, but they're mainly in there. And so when they get home, we would love for them to be able to run around and play and just kind of not sit at a desk for a few, an hour or two and keep doing their homework. So we give them time in class. But please feel free to read with your child, curl up on, a couch and just enjoy a book, go over their spelling words, go over a Bible verse, maybe practice for a test that might be coming up. But we definitely want to have this season to not add the additional stress of homework. Okay? Now, if you would like to just kind of wonder about communication, how do you get information? Again, my CCA is your friend. So you want to set your notifications. You want to get your emails, and there's all that good information. And here's just a little picture of what my CCA looks like. Here's all the different classes, resources. There's so much there. And so that's really good for you. News, whenever there's news coming out, you might see Mrs. Malouf's face, and she is the one who is putting up the spelling words and the vocab words each week. You'll see my face when it's the Bible verse quiz. You might see Mrs. Evans' face if it's about science or social studies. So we just share. We share that and we push all that information out to all the second graders. So that is really important. We get the privilege of having Vicki Lasasso as our homeroom mom this year, and that is Landon's mom. I also know that Ashley Mullins is helping out, and that is Harper's mom. And so we are just thankful, and we just are so glad that all of you moms and dads out there are willing, and you're willing to help and volunteer and get involved with Parent to Parent Fellowship. We have an auction coming up, and we will be having an auction basket, and our theme is camping. And so you'll be seeing information about that you can participate in and come to the auction and have a lot of fun with just getting plugged in and getting to know this amazing CCA community. Okay, there'll be parent conferences this year. It will look a little different. They're on November the 6th. So you will receive just a sign up genius to pick a time, and you and I will meet like this. So we'll do a Google Meet, and we will just talk about how amazing your child is and how wonderful your child is and the things that they can work on and be challenged on. And you will be able to share information that will help me continue to guide and direct your child to be the absolute best that they can be as they continue to live a life to bring glory and honor to Jesus. Because isn't that why we're here? And hopping over to birthdays. Birthdays are going to be held in our classroom, so the celebrations will take place after lunch. And please, if you would like to, bring a treat from the store that's packaged, pre-packaged, individually wrapped by the manufacturer. So you can't go to Dunkin' Donuts and bring in the 24 Dunkin' Donuts that I would then have to pass out. It just needs to be wrapped little treats. And so I just gave you a couple pictures there to give your brain some ideas. I know there's awesome ideas out there, and maybe your child's favorite treat they can bring in and share. It could be savory or it could be something sweet. But please don't hesitate to email me, ask me questions. It's very easy for me to answer emails throughout the day. It's not easy to answer personal phone calls. And for my classroom phone, that's for emergencies. So just hop onto the email. You can see it there, stacy@ccaeagles.org. If you have any problems with my CCA or any technology problems, they are so helpful. So that information there, technology@ccaeagles.org, is also very helpful. But please continue to pray for me this year, that God will just continue to guide my steps and continue to fill me up with more of Him each and every day, so I can just pour that love and joy and peace and patience and kindness out onto your child. And thank you. Thank you for this privilege, and thank you for this honor. And I love them. I actually will call them my child, my children. For a while. I have old students that I'm in contact with, and they are married, and so it's just fun. It's fun because you have this connection the rest of your life with these students that you get to spend, 9 months with. So thank you for just watching this video. Thank you just for all of your kind words and your kindness during these first few weeks of school, and I love your child dearly. Have a great night.